मैं ना आज आपको बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग कॉन्सेप्ट बताऊंगा। ये नया कॉन्सेप्ट है इंडिया के टाइप्स ऑफ बिजनेसेस के बारे में। ठीक है, तो ये ना बिल्कुल डिफरेंट एंगल से देखा। मैंने चैट जीपीटी से पूछा, वो भी काफ़ी कंफ्यूज हुई, उसने काफ़ी हेल्प की, लेकिन कंफ्यूज बड़ी रही। मैंने कहा एक आधी और बता दे टाइप, कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा उसको। इस तरह से कोई सोचता ही नहीं है, बड़ी हैरानी की बात है। पर मैं बिल्कुल जब आपको बताऊंगा ये बात, आप देखना आपको कितनी कॉमन सेंस और कितनी नॉर्मल बात लगेगी और आपको सच में ये फील कर जाएगी। ठीक है ना, तो चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं। इंग्लिश में करें। ओके, विल टॉक इन इंग्लिश फ्रॉम हियर, विल टॉक इन इंग्लिश। ओके, so the very first type of businesses are the ones which have political contacts. Okay, Tata Birla, all these big industry houses, they are political contacts. Second one is who have finance contacts or some kind of game of finance. Basically, they have IPO, they do like they can get money, right? Third one is political contacts also has government, like basically regulation based businesses or like regulated businesses, they all come under that. They will basically get money from the government, and that's why because they have political contacts, they can easily get that. But still, at the end of the day, it's all political, right? Once you have these two, the third category is people who are getting the business from USA somehow. TCS is one such thing. But TCS is a pretty good example of political contacts, finance game, and getting the business from America. So all three. So that's where it's pretty, like you can see how successful it is. Infosys, on the other hand, I'm not sure whether they have political contacts or not, but they definitely have got into the finance game, and they are a US-based company. They basically get money from the USA. So this is third type of big businesses in India. If you want to become big, you need to see, you need to become something, one of these, right? After this, you need to be either a top talent. For example, Kapil Sharma. So now these are all owner-operator businesses. Owner-operator business. It's an owner-operator business. Priyanka Chopra, Amir Khan, these are all owner-operator business. But because the hourly rate or the rate per, like Shah Rukh Khan's per movie rate is, which is hourly rate basically, and you know the wage rate is very high for such that skill. That's why they make a lot of money. So if you have that, but you need a skill, like you need to be near the Chopra, you need to be that girl who used to PV Sidhu, whatever. You have to be some kind of talent. If you don't have that talent, then you will not get paid. And sometimes even after the talent, you may not be getting paid also. Let's say you are a kabaddi champ. I just saw a video about some girl, some Sanu Sinha or something, Sita Sinha, something like Sita Sahu, yeah. So yeah, so you will get paid. But the point is, if you have top talent, then you can make good money. Then there are some types of businesses who have business contacts. That is, these companies which are run by either political contacts or finance game or American one. But then there is a purchasing officer. He's a business contact, and then you know him, and then you become a supplier company, and then you become big. You won't become very, very big like these big companies, but you can make very good money. Like you can make money like 10 crores. So, for example, VDART, it's a supplier company to TCS, right? So it makes a lot of money. Okay, the annual revenue is like $200 million or something, right? So these are all so far big businesses. Please remember, if you want to become big, you need to be either having political contacts, or you need to have some kind of, you have to get into the finance game, which also there are certain people within finance who do not have any, maybe they may not have much political contacts. So they stay small within the finance game, but they still do big business. So that's what I will come to. This big business wins, you hear these numbers, Reliance is worth 1 lakh crore and he made a profit of 13,000 crore, all this big business. For this, you need to have political contacts and you need to be in finance, and you have some kind of source of some funds from America. Another type of businesses have mushroomed in India, which is recent, are the ones who are backed by US-based funds. If they're backed by India-based funds, then that's finance game. But they're backed by US-based, like SoftBank and all. So that is where some very good American-style companies have started to mushroom. Rest of any of these companies are not American style. That's what I told you guys in one of my other videos, that these companies, in Indian companies, are not proper corporations. Okay, these are not proper corporations. I've told several times, and that's the reason when you guys learn something from Reliance, you did an MBA from IIM, now you're learning from Reliance. No, that's not going to cut it. That's not right, because they are not proper corporations. If you want to study corporations, study Macy's and all those companies in America, Walmart, Amazon, study all this, Google, Farm, study all this. Then you will understand what your education was about. Your education If you want to be in these companies, Reliance and all these things, since their edge is their political connections, since their edge is their ability to raise an IPO, since their edge is these things, their edge is not you, the IM guy, the IIT guy. Their edge is not you. That's the reason IIT, IMIT don't like to stay in India, because they don't really see huge usage of their talent. They come to America, right? I'm just explaining certain phenomena on the basis of what I observed. Okay, so these are the ways to get some edge, right? Now, after that, now you may say, okay, so I won't make any money. No. In India, you can raise 5 crore business, 10 crore revenue business, 50 crore revenue business, 100 crore revenue business, even 500 crore revenue business, right? By being in owner managed mode. That is, there are people, who own let's say a big showroom, and then they're selling everything. Dad, father are sitting together, and they are basically managing the entire show, and they are having sale of 100 crores. It's not so uncommon. So that is what I'm talking about, owner managed businesses. But basically now you will never be able to scale, because if let's say they want to open another shop, they will have a tough time. They will have a very tough time, because to rise above owner operator on owner manager mode, you need political connection. There is another type of businesses. Underworld connection businesses. If you don't have underworld connections is almost similar, equal to political connections, because political and underworld are related, right? So basically, those are other things. So, for example, let's say you raise a 100 crore business. You need to, you cannot do it if you have an army of goons. Only then you can try to replicate that. So if you have some kind of political backing, and you have goons, then you can do it. Political goons go together. Otherwise, you can't do this big business. Many people get frustrated because of that, because they cannot rise above a certain point. Anyway, but you can raise really even 500 crore businesses in owner managed mode can be run. Then comes skill based things. You have your skill and you sell that. You're an owner operator. You have to sell that skill. You basically a great graphic designer. You are a great this thing. The higher the wage rate, higher the returns. Obviously, actors and all those things are also owner operators. Interesting things I'll tell you. I have said in some other videos also. If anybody is making money in owner operator mode, he doesn't need to have any special skills, like people skills, communication skills, finance skills, and all these skills. And that's the reason you will see all these people are very arrogant. So they will become arrogant. And whereas in all other political contracts, business contracts, and all those things, they will become little suave. They have to deal with all different kinds of personalities. But again, because in America, just take it with a pinch of salt. It's not always true. I'll talk about exceptions later. But basically in America, it's a clear thing. If you need to raise a business beyond owner operator, you need to have something, all these skills. So people, let's say doctors who are making a lot of money, they'll be very arrogant. They may not be even sounding educated people, but they're actually quite educated. So that's the thing. So, but here in India, because if you have political context, then that is what is you. That's what you are. That's what is the main thing, right? So you don't really need to worry about being polite. You see, so that's why I took it back. It's true in America, but not here. Okay, but coming back to this thing, so these are the types of businesses. If you want to rise, you need to get into these games. If you don't want to rise beyond, let's say 1,000 crores, maybe 500 crores, then export-oriented units of anything basically is basically US based. Let's say there is a friend who's basically made a factory of electronic parts, but his customers are always just German customers. Perfect. Yeah, this is export-oriented unit. Then you will not be you cannot go. Then you can make a good money, and then you can keep going up in life. But you don't really need to be having political connections or finance and all those things. If you don't raise an IPO, remember if you put it on the exchange, then you need to deal with a lot of issues. You may have to deal with a lot of issues as well. You must have watched these movies and all, or documentaries where someone shorted your shares, someone long your shares and all that, right? So you have to deal with all that. So with political connections, you can easily navigate through those situations, but if you don't, then you may not be able to. So you need to think multiple times before you do that. But still, finance game is pretty exciting. That can give you a pretty good edge, right? So I've told you certain interesting way to look at the businesses, and because and certain strategic edges you need to have to be able to rise to certain levels. If you want to really make this 10,000 crore business, you need to basically have political edge. You need political connections. Business context, I mentioned business context some point of time. So business context, So let's talk about the startup businesses. Startup businesses which were basically backed by software and all, right? So this is a new category. For that, you need high IQ. That's why you see all these IITs and IMITs having a good time in India nowadays, because of the startup startups that they are becoming billionaires, they're becoming 10 million, they're raising 10 million, 20 million, they're becoming really, like they're really quite rich, right? At least their net worth is very high, right? So obviously that's because of SoftBank backing, right? So SoftBank backing and all those things are creating certain interesting aspect in different types of business in India. It is kind of new. It was not there when I was in India. 25 years back, these things were not there. Now coming to business context based, if it is like I have seen situation where a person had political context and he became a vendor of something, and then he basically raised a company which is a 1,000 crore company. So this is possible. Similarly, if you are a preferred vendor of, let's say, a finance like TCS or someone, or who has American, you can pretty make a very good money too. So, but and those are pretty, because you have a stable content. That's your strategic edge. Your strategic edge is your political your business content. You can scale the business quite easily. You can hire good talent and you can give them jobs, and you don't run into the issue of getting getting your idea or getting your business or stolen or something. Once you don't have all these edges, below this is all owner managed, as I said. So, and in India, the good news is in India, even in this owner managed mode, you can make good money. It's not like you cannot make any money. You can make really good money, and that's the reason I always believe. So I always believe that being in India is better idea, because you can if you do business, you can make more money, right? To make good money in India, there is another one. You basically work in the top management, or you have the top talent. For example, IT. Let's say you're making IT, you're making 1 crore a year salary. It's not a small amount, guys. It's a big salary, and you need to understand that this is pretty big, and you need to respect that, and that's a pretty big salary. That's possible in India. So top. This is also top talent based kind of a deal here. So it's same thing as that. You need to understand that. Another one is management process. So if you're very honest and you're a smart guy, you have good professionalism, then you can become the top guy of some. To me, MBO means you basically become a CEO of a small enterprise or a mid-sized enterprise in America, who cannot really hire TCS and all those big companies to work with them. So basically, they have to go directly into India to hire the talent, and that's when if you basically you can get a very good deal from them, because they are cutting through all this TCS. TCS basically charges a lot of money, so they are obviously paying 30-40% of what they would be paying TCS. So they'll be happily paying you that, but you have to give them the same service as TCS. TCS is able to give that service because they have political connections, right? Otherwise, TCS won't be able to, because these same employees will steal from them, right? So I have really tried to tell you, like, you need to understand this. These are the edges, strategic edge a business must have. Otherwise, it will fail, and otherwise it will not grow beyond a certain point. All right. So this is my classification. Just do let me know whether you gain something from this way of thinking. Thank you, guys.